Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba vowed to remain in office on Monday after his ruling coalition suffered a bruising defeat in upper house elections the day prior.
I'm not currently thinking of a deadline regarding how long I will continue. As I mentioned earlier, we will do our utmost to find a way to resolve pressing issues such as the US tariff measures, rising prices, natural disasters that could happen tomorrow, and the most complex and challenging security environment of the post-war era.
Ishiba's ruling coalition fell 3 seats short of the 50 it needed to ensure a majority in the upper chamber, in an election where half of the 248 seats there were up for grabs. In addition to economic anxiety over rising prices, particularly a jump in the cost of rice, Ishiba also appears to have been hurt at the ballot box by his lack of progress in tariff talks with Japan's biggest trading partner, the United States, ahead of a looming August 1st deadline. The leader of the main opposition party, Yoshihiko Noda, said on Sunday he is considering submitting a vote of non-confidence in the Ishiba administration, as the election results showed it did not have voters' trust. And according to local media reports on Monday, some senior lawmakers in the embattled premier's own party were also quietly voicing doubts over whether he should stay. Analysts say Ishiba's days may be numbered, having also lost control of the more powerful lower house in elections last year, and shedding votes in Sunday's contest, to opposition parties pledging to cut taxes and tighten immigration policies.
Hi, I'm Jasmine Levin, and I proudly own and operate Puppy Levin. Puppy Levin is a pet care salon dedicated to caring for your furry companions. We provide certified dog grooming services along with boarding and doggy daycare. Our facility is family-owned and operated and promise personalized care for every pet that comes through our doors. If you're worried about your furry friend being lonely when you're gone, we also have on-site personnel 24/7 just for their comfort. Follow us on Facebook and call or text us at 814-758-9259 to make an appointment today.
Anyone with a kind and generous heart and a little money can be a philanthropist. You too can be a force for good in our community, and the Crawford Heritage Community Foundation is here to help you make the most of your charitable giving. We've partnered with hundreds of people like you to make our world and our community a better place. You can give through us to support scholarships or any charitable organization or purpose. Whether you're interested in establishing a permanent endowment or adding to an existing fund, we want to be a part of your plan. Contact us when you're ready to make your mark. Together, we can make your contribution go further.
The Gordon B. Garrett Funeral Home has been serving the needs of Titusville and surrounding communities since 1965. Mr. Garrett believed in tradition and commitment to excellence, standards that have been passed down from one generation to now a new generation, who will work to provide you with a beautiful, lasting tribute to your loved one. When you need them, they will be there for you. This has been their foundation for almost 60 years. The Gordon B. Garrett Funeral Home, 303 North Washington Street in Titusville.
Thinking about switching to 5G home internet? Think again. Unlike Zoom from Armstrong, 5G home internet is delivered by a cell tower. The further away you are, or the more devices connected to that tower, the slower your internet is. Cell phone providers also play favorites. When their network gets busy, cell phones win, and your home internet pays the price. Stick with Armstrong to get more data, more speed, and internet whenever you need it, not whenever they want. Armstrong, keeping you connected.
Sheer Design is Titusville's exclusive Paul Mitchell focused salon. This full-service salon specializes in coloring, cuts, nails, and tanning. Owner Angela Saxon has over 20 years experience as a Paul Mitchell professional. She and her licensed staff offer all cuts and styles for men and women of all ages. Call 814-827-0010 or stop in at 116 South Kerr Street in Titusville.
J. Gill Plumbing and Heating takes pride in being the premier heating and air conditioning service provider in the area. With over 30 years of experience, our highly skilled and certified technicians will work closely with you to address your heating and air conditioning repair, installation, or maintenance needs. Our team is dedicated to making your home the ultimate place of comfort. Call today to get a free estimate. We also offer financing options and membership opportunities that provide peace of mind and cost savings. Call J. Gill Plumbing and Heating today or visit them online 24/7 at jgillplumbingheating.com.
If you're looking for a professional massage therapist, Tranquil Moments Massage in Titusville is here for you. Ray and Rauch graduated from Slippery Rock University with a bachelor's degree in exercise and rehabilitative sciences with an emphasis in athletic training. Tranquil Moments offers a wide range of services, from Swedish massage to deep tissue, sugar scrubs to hot towel inclusion therapy. Like them on Facebook and visit their website to learn more about all the services they offer. Tranquil Moments Massage in Titusville.
Share the fun of train travel and relive our country's oil history as you ride the OC&T through the valley that changed the world. Learn about the past while traveling on vintage cars. See a variety of wildlife with stops at Drakewell Park, Petroleum Center, and Oil Creek State Park. Arrive early and see the vast collection of train and railroad memorabilia at Perry Street Station. After the ride, enjoy a night's stay at the Caboose Motel. For seasonal specials or for more information, visit octrr.org or call 814-676-1733.
Stocks finished flat to lower Friday, with the Dow dropping about 1/3 and the S&P 500 and NASDAQ ending near break-even. All three indexes dipped earlier in the session after a Financial Times report indicated U.S. President Donald Trump was pushing for steep new tariffs on European Union products. The report said the Trump administration was eyeing a minimum tariff of between 15% and 20% in any deal with the European bloc. Joseph Shaposhnik, portfolio manager with Rainwater Equity, says he isn't concerned about any lingering effects of these negotiations or the ultimate deals.
Tariffs will be a persistent topic of conversation and a driver of markets to some extent for some period of time, but not for the indefinite future. And we think there will be a lot of bluster, a lot of loud conversations, a lot of headlines, but at the end of the day, we're most likely to end up basically where we started in terms of tariff rates in general. Perhaps there'll be some level of elevated tariffs, but they will not be significant enough to really impact the overall economy. We're going to end up basically where we started.
Economic data this week offered mixed signals, including robust retail sales, a rise in consumer inflation, and flat producer prices for June. Data released on Friday showed the University of Michigan's closely watched Consumer Sentiment Index rose this month, though consumers remain concerned about future price pressures. An earnings season kicked off this week, giving an opportunity to U.S. corporations to showcase how tariffs were or were not affecting their businesses. Stocks on the move included 3M, which fell more than 3.5% after the company said the impact of tariffs will mostly be felt in the second half of the year. And shares of Netflix fell 5%, despite the success of Squid Game helping the company surpass earnings forecasts. The streaming company also lifted its annual revenue outlook.
Hey, happy Monday. Let's take a look at that weather forecast for northwest Pennsylvania. Mix of sun and clouds, cooler and less humid today with temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. Generally clear skies tonight, a low of 50. Tuesday, sunshine, upper 70s. Wednesday, we return to the mid to upper 80s with mostly sunny skies. Thursday, mostly sunny, a high of 90. Friday, thunderstorms and temperatures in the low 80s. So, yeah, definitely warming up towards the middle part and end of the week. Meadville this morning at 58 degrees. Cambridge Springs, Edinburgh at 58. 58 in Titusville, 60 in Franklin, 60 in Oil City. This is the Morning Drill. You're watching it on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Happy Monday.
Morning sun is shining bright. Monday feels just right. Coffee brewing, kitchen light. Everything's gonna be alright. Wake up with a smile today. Week ahead we'll find our way. Turn the TV, hear them say, Luke and Amy make our day. On the Morning Drill we see week's adventures yet to be. With Luke and Amy guiding me. Monday morning feeling free.
You feeling free here on a Monday? Or like, oh my gosh, it's Monday.
I'm feeling very Monday. Right
yeah.
now.
Well, happy Monday. Glad you're with us here this morning. A little foggy out there in our area, in our neck of the woods. So if you're out and about, or in Canada, oot and boot.
What? Oh, I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, so be careful if you're traveling around this morning. Hope you had a great weekend. I was trying to think. Oh, we had a graduation party we went to on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
That was nice.
Yeah.
Lovely. Got to see
beautiful day.
A lot of your family, so that was nice.
Yeah.
Always a good time. You and I had a little date night last night.
We did.
I got to tell you, I had so much fun.
It was fun.
You and I went golfing, and I had been watching the Open a lot yesterday, but a little bit on Saturday, and I just was getting the itch. We went golfing last week with the boys.
Yeah, it was hot.
It was hot, a little rushed.
Yeah,
you know, we went to a busy course, and you know, when you got two boys that are just kind of getting into it, and you know, we want to take our time, and that wasn't. It was a beautiful course, but we had to kind of keep pace, and but last night you and I went out, and it was very quiet, and
it was cool.
And it was cool. Yes,
it felt so nice.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, a lot of fun. In fact, on the way home, I kept thinking, okay, what night are we going to go out this week, or what nights? And then I woke up this morning thinking, okay, when can we sneak out and go golfing? Speaking of golf and the Open, congratulations. Never heard of this guy, Scotty Scheffler, I think is how you say it. Scotty Scheffler.
Haven't said his name in the past 2 days.
Yeah. Scotty Scheffler, the big winner at the Open. What a beautiful course. And, man, he just continues to dominate golf. Number one player in the world. Not why I like him. I just like everything about him.
He's humble and normal and...
Yeah. Just a good guy. So congratulations there. Scotty Scheffler, winner at the Open. Major League Baseball. I don't know if I saved this stat or not. I thought maybe I had, but maybe I didn't. It wasn't a very good one for the Pirates. No, I don't think I did. Anyways, their overall record, they're now, since the franchise
They're under 500 for the first time since like 1903 or something like that. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, Pirates lost to the White Sox, 7-2. So Chicago White Sox beat the Pittsburgh Pirates 7-2 last night. Blue Jays over the Giants 8-6. Orioles over the Rays 5-3. Angels beat the Phillies 8-2. Padres over the Nationals 8-1. Yankees beat the Braves 4-2. Royals over the Marlins 7-4. Mets over the Reds 3-2. Guardians with the win over the A's 8-2. Red Sox beat the Cubs 6-1. Twins over the Rockies 7-1. Diamondbacks batting their way past the Cardinals to win 5-3. Brewers over the Dodgers 6-5. Astros beat the Mariners 11-3, and Tigers over the Rangers 2-1. Major League Baseball action today on this Monday. The Marlins and Padres at 6:40. Pirates hosting the Tigers at 6:40. Guardians and Orioles in Cleveland at 6:40. 6:45 will feature the Phillies and Red Sox. Nationals take on the Reds. Blue Jays and Yankees at 7:07. Then at 7:10, it's the Mets and the Angels. Braves and Giants at 7:15. 7:35 will feature the Rays of Tampa Bay hosting the Chicago White Sox. Cubs will host the Royals at 8:05. Rangers and A's tonight at 8:05. At 8:40, it's the Rockies and Cardinals. Diamondbacks and Astros at 9:40. Mariners will take on the Brewers in Seattle. Dodgers have the Twins for the late game at 10:10. American League Central Division, Cleveland second place behind Detroit. Detroit 60-40, Cleveland 48-50. Cleveland 11 games back from that first place spot. Pirates haven't budged at all. They are 20.5 games behind the Cubs in first place in the National League Central Division. Then you've got Milwaukee, Cincinnati, St. Louis. Of course, then the Pirates. Pirates are 39-61. That's not good.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right. Let's see. You mentioned not quite as humid last night when we were out.
Yeah.
Which was nice. However, there is a heat dome that could last for weeks. Bouts of severe weather coupled with unrelenting heat threaten to provide Americans with a kind of a deadly weather week, forecasters say. Multiple rounds of thunderstorms will bring risks of flash flooding through the Midwest and East on the heat dome that they're saying could be kind of wrapped around us. That could bring triple-digit temperatures to parts of multiple states, according to AccuWeather. More than 50 million Americans from Texas to Missouri were already under National Weather Service extreme heat warnings or advisories on July 20th. Thunderstorms at night could bring hail downpours from southern Nebraska to Canada, with wind gusts possibly reaching 85 miles per hour. The severe weather threat sweeps across the Midwest and East on July 21st, with Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, and West Virginia all facing the possibility of flash flooding and gusty winds. AccuWeather senior meteorologist Alex Sawowski said that much of the region was hammered by heavy thunderstorms recently and can't absorb another round. So a bulge in the jet stream developing as high pressure builds could create a persistent heat dome lingering well into August. The Kansas City, Missouri area, which hasn't hit 100 degrees in 2 years, could reach that figure multiple times this week. Dallas could see 100 degrees for the first time in 2025. So just be prepared if that's something that's going to affect your area. All right. So the heat dome could last a few weeks for, again, those spots. We've got birthdays, what we're celebrating. We're going to do that here in just a little bit. Gavin Griffin from the city of Titusville will be joining us later this morning. Couple other headlines here. The WNBA All-Star Weekend represented the league at its peak. Massive midseason showcase featuring the best players in the world, hosted in a city that's become synonymous with the rapid explosion of women's sports. But the celebration took place in front of a backdrop of labor uncertainty. The league and the players' union remained far apart in negotiations for a new collective bargaining agreement, with the current CBA set to expire on August 31st. With all eyes on the WNBA, the All-Stars emerged for pregame warm-ups Saturday to reveal a message on their shirts. Pay us what you owe us. The players had a breakfast meeting the morning of the All-Star game when they collectively decided to wear the shirts. The shirt is available for sale on the Players Union Instagram account, with all proceeds going to the the WNBPA and the players. So you can get the official license, Pay Us What You Owe Us t-shirt. So I don't know. I guess I have to read more on this, but a couple thoughts on it. One, you got Caitlin Clark, who's bringing attention to the sport, and everybody attacks her.
Yeah.
She's filling stands. You have some players who have said they want to go back to playing in empty stadiums, and they like that better.
Yeah. Then you're not going to...
And you want more money?
Yeah.
For an empty stadium?
You have one person who's bringing in the numbers and bringing in the sponsors right now. You should, I don't know. If you get any increase in your pay, you should be thanking her, but instead you're treating her like crap.
Yeah.
Do you think like an entertainer, like, I'm so much dating myself, like Britney Spears or whatever, they're not going to, when they stop packing the stands, then they're not going to make as much money.
Yeah.
Like their ticket sales are going to go, they're going to be cheaper tickets. They're going to make less money. They're not, they're not going to be the multi-million-dollar act. That's the same with you. If you're not bringing people in to watch you, you're not going to have the sponsors.
Yeah.
You're not going to make any money. Sorry.
Well, so that goes into another story, this whole Stephen Colbert thing. And I was asked about it on the weekend, somebody locally, and also the whole PBS NPR thing. And I'm like, I don't think you're going to like my answer. Like, if you're Stephen Colbert, he chose... He
targeted a certain...
Yeah.
Demographic group of people.
So if I'm trying to sell the most sponsorships and get the most viewers, I'm not limiting myself to half the country.
Yeah.
And even then, it's even, fractured there. I want a wide audience.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why they let him get away with that for so long. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what you're expecting. A lot of and it's not just his show. There's all these other shows too, and you're just isolating such a large
regardless
portion
of what side you're on. You have shows that target one demographic, one area, and like his show targets another area, but you're not getting the numbers that they want you to have. So let's see if somebody else can do that by changing it up a little bit and not pigeonholing yourself. I don't know.
And at least the supporters I've talked to of like NPR and, PBS, not so much PBS, more NPR though. I've asked, are they slanted? And like supporters that I know that I've talked to are like, yeah, it is. Like, okay, would you want the government to fund Glenn Beck?
Yeah.
Or at the time, Rush Limbaugh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. Okay. So, NPR could, again, easily have shifted. And again, you just look at, and they've released all this stuff. There were government hearings on it. How many of the editors and anchors and all of that stuff are left-leaning? And it was like 90% of them, or 90-some percent of them, whatever it was. And, okay. So you think the government should fund one side? That doesn't make sense. It should be equal. But, I don't know. And then, plus we're in this era now with streaming and podcasting and all this stuff. They should be, PBS, listen, I talk about it all the time. This old house, love it. Would hate to see it go, but there's some market for that.
Yeah.
They run, and you can't. This is what I love. They are commercials that you see on those programs. The difference is you can't say, "Hey, here's the price of a truck," or we're having, GMC is a proud sponsor, or Home Depot is a proud sponsor of this old house. Mm-hmm. So, but they can't put like the sale prices of things. But they can say Home Depot is, proud to support, this old house. I mean, they can show you clips of people painting their, living room or bringing an appliance or whatever. That's still a commercial. Let them sell commercials. You can do it. Everybody else does. So
yeah, I mean, if you look at, whether we like it or not, that scenery is changing, and you either change with it, and you grow and you develop, or you say goodbye. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's very similar to banking. You have to change. I mean, we're out of the paper statement era. We're into everything's electronic, and you don't have to come through the door for everything that you need. So either you change and you grow with it, or you shut your doors.
Yeah. All right, real quick too, before we get to birthdays and what we're celebrating here on a Monday, I see Coldplay is now giving people a warning at the concerts. Chris Martin is now warning people.
That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Kiss cam is out. By the way, the memes have been fantastic.
Oh my gosh, so entertaining. It's so good.
Yeah, that CEO of that tech company has resigned. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that was the board that pressured him to do so or what, but yeah. Anything else?
No. That's just been, keeping us all entertained. I think here's what I struggle with. Something like, if you're going to have an affair, fine. Don't go to a concert or a public place. Like, if I don't know. Whatever. It's just, you can't blame Coldplay or a Kiss Cam or whatever. You could have easily been there and, a friend could have seen you across the crowd and taken your picture and sent it, or,
This is, for the people that are getting upset at Coldplay or that Chris Martin at his concert for having the Kiss Cam, which everybody does.
Everybody.
In sports.
Everybody. Yeah.
You're responsible for you. Mm-hmm. Right?
You bring it to a public place, it is now public.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. Today is the 21st day of July. Who's celebrating a birthday today?
All right. Comedian John Lovitz is 68 today.
Oh.
I know. Actress Allie Landry is 52. Actor Josh Hartnett is 47. And actress Juno Temple is 36.
Well, happy birthday to them. Happy birthday to you if today happens to be your birthday from all of us here today. Let's switch over to what we're celebrating.
Today is Belgium Independence Day, Comic-Con, Global Hug Your Kids Day, Invite an Alien to Live With You Day, Legal Drinking Age Day.
Like an outer space alien or somebody who has entered the country illegally? Because that might not be the thing to celebrate this year.
Stop it. Stop. It's outer space. Like there's a picture of a little green guy sitting there. Does that make you feel better?
Yeah. Not like, what's his name? Elian Gonzalez. Remember that from the 90s? They came in and grabbed him and deported him.
Oh, I don't remember that. But okay.
You don't remember that?
No.
That was another Republican president. No, it wasn't. It was under Clinton.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
Legal Drinking Age Day. National Be Someone Day. National Cry for Your Local Shelters Day. National Day of Prayer, Reflection, and Thanksgiving. National Get Out of the Doghouse Day. National Junk Food Day. National Lamington Day. No Pet Store Puppies Day. Racial Harmony Day. Royal Welsh Show. Take a Monkey to Lunch Day. And Coral Reef Awareness Week. And today would have been Robin Williams' birthday.
Ah, all right. Coming up on 7:30, your headlines are next.
Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba vowed to remain in office on Monday after his ruling coalition suffered a bruising defeat in upper house elections the day prior.
I'm not currently thinking of a deadline regarding how long I will continue. As I mentioned earlier, we will do our utmost to find a way to resolve pressing issues such as the US tariff measures, rising prices, natural disasters that could happen tomorrow, and the most complex and challenging security environment of the post-war era.
Ishiba's ruling coalition fell 3 seats short of the 50 it needed to ensure a majority in the upper chamber, in an election where half of the 248 seats there were up for grabs. In addition to economic anxiety over rising prices, particularly a jump in the cost of rice, Ishiba also appears to have been hurt at the ballot box by his lack of progress in tariff talks with Japan's biggest trading partner, the United States, ahead of a looming August 1st deadline. The leader of the main opposition party, Yoshihiko Noda, said on Sunday he is considering submitting a vote of non-confidence in the Ishiba administration, as the election results showed it did not have voters' trust. And according to local media reports on Monday, some senior lawmakers in the embattled premier's own party were also quietly voicing doubts over whether he should stay. Analysts say Ishiba's days may be numbered, having also lost control of the more powerful lower house in elections last year, and shedding votes in Sunday's contest, to opposition parties pledging to cut taxes and tighten immigration policies.
As Syrian forces took up position near Sweda on Sunday, the government announced Bedouin fighters had withdrawn from the city. Local residents described a tense calm in the area after days of violent conflict left hundreds reported dead. It began with factional clashes between Bedouin and Druze fighters, before Damascus sent in government troops, which were then accused of attacking the Druze. This prompted Israel to launch airstrikes at the Syrian forces as it declared support for the community. A ceasefire was agreed on Saturday, but gunfire continues to ring out, prompting President Ahmed al-Sharaa to urge all parties to respect the truce. The government said on Sunday that following deployment, clashes had been halted and Bedouin fighters cleared from the predominantly Druze region. This bloodshed underscores the challenge al-Sharaa faces as he tries to stitch back together a country of different sectarian and ethnic groups, which has seen 14 years of conflict. US envoy Tom Barrack said Syria is at a, quote, critical juncture where peace and dialogue must prevail.
Swooping in to save you over 11 grand off your next Chevy truck. It's Community Chevrolet's newest mascot, Independence Dog.
Getting you approved by day, fighting crime by night.
With Independence Day savings running all month long, you can save more than 11 grand off MSRP on a new Silverado, or save nearly 3 grand on hot new SUVs like the Trailblazer and the Equinox. Follow Independence Dog to explosive savings this month at Community Chevy.
Interstate Pipe and Supply takes pride in providing superior customer service. That's why our dedicated employees are well trained and have the experience to offer friendly, quick, and reliable service and support. Need materials delivered to your job site? No problem. Interstate offers fast delivery from our 4 locations in Western Pennsylvania. We also serve Eastern Ohio, Northern Western Virginia, and Western New York. Service means business at Western Pennsylvania's premier pipe and supply company, Interstate Pipe and Supply.
Vanderhoof Heating and Air Conditioning provides residential and light commercial air conditioning services throughout the area. They understand the importance of your cooling system working properly. That is why you can trust in Vanderhoof to do the job right. Whether it's a non-working air conditioner, yearly maintenance, or a new install, you can be assured that we will solve your problem quickly and efficiently. Your home's air conditioning system is far more than just temperature. It's a complete comfort system that combines temperature, humidity, air quality, and above all, safety. Vanderhoof Heating and Air Conditioning in Titusville.
Looking for expert orthopedic care? Dr. Charlie Gates, a trusted name at Titusville Area Hospital, can help you regain mobility and a better quality of life. With years of experience and a passion for personalized care, Dr. Gates specializes in treating a wide range of orthopedic conditions. Whether it's joint pain, sports injuries, or orthopedic surgery, trust Dr. Charlie Gates at Titusville Area Hospital for your orthopedic care. Call 814-827-9770 today to schedule your appointment.
Welcome to Inspire Med Spa, the place you know and love for massages, Botox, laser resurfacing, and semi-permanent makeup. Now we're offering even more, including laser hair removal, tattoo removal, and hair rejuvenation. Our team is here to provide expert care in a peaceful, luxurious environment designed with your relaxation in mind. And with our newly added services, now you can get all your beauty services in one place. Visit Inspire Med Spa today, because you deserve to look and feel your best.
I know sometimes we get into it and it's just hard on both of us, but try to understand me more and I'll try to do the same. But you have excuses because you're old, so it's okay.
Listening is a form of love. Find ways to support your kids at sounditouttogether.org.
Marsh Home Center Furniture, Appliances, and Bedding is located at 305 East Spring Street in Titusville. Marsh Home Center welcomes you in to explore their growing inventory of name brand furniture, appliances, and bedding. Need something not currently in stock? No problem. Order from Marsh's online catalog and have it delivered right to your door. Visit Marsh's to see their entire showroom. Ask questions, see what items are on sale, or just stop in and say hi. Marsh Home Center Furniture, Appliances, and Bedding, behind Giant Eagle in Titusville.
Whether you want to go and lead in your craft in the trades, whether you want to go and be that nurse or medical worker and have a real impact on lives, or whether you want to go and help that business improve its bottom line, this is the place, and now is your time to go with confidence, to go with skill, to go succeed. The Education and Training Center at Pitt Titusville.
Vehicle shopping? Make sure you check out Titusville Ford first. Shop our amazing selection of new and pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in stock. Visit us on Route 8 in Titusville and see why our customer service is a cut above the rest. Titusville Ford, your hometown dealer.
Stocks finished flat to lower Friday, with the Dow dropping about 1/3 and the S&P 500 and NASDAQ ending near break-even. All three indexes dipped earlier in the session after a Financial Times report indicated U.S. President Donald Trump was pushing for steep new tariffs on European Union products. The report said the Trump administration was eyeing a minimum tariff of between 15% and 20% in any deal with the European bloc. Joseph Shaposhnik, portfolio manager with Rainwater Equity, says he isn't concerned about any lingering effects of these negotiations or the ultimate deals.
Tariffs will be a persistent topic of conversation and a driver of markets to some extent for some period of time, but not for the indefinite future. And we think there will be a lot of bluster, a lot of loud conversations, a lot of headlines, but at the end of the day, we're most likely to end up basically where we started in terms of tariff rates in general. Perhaps there'll be some level of elevated tariffs, but they will not be significant enough to really impact the overall economy. We're going to end up basically where we started.
Economic data this week offered mixed signals, including robust retail sales, a rise in consumer inflation, and flat producer prices for June. Data released on Friday showed the University of Michigan's closely watched Consumer Sentiment Index rose this month, though consumers remain concerned about future price pressures. An earnings season kicked off this week, giving an opportunity to U.S. corporations to showcase how tariffs were or were not affecting their businesses. Stocks on the move included 3M, which fell more than 3.5% after the company said the impact of tariffs will mostly be felt in the second half of the year. And shares of Netflix fell 5%, despite the success of Squid Game helping the company surpass earnings forecasts. The streaming company also lifted its annual revenue outlook.
We're invested in AI. We own Broadcom, which is a huge beneficiary of AI, and we think that the AI businesses continue to have very, very strong legs. The question is, what do you pay for these businesses? Some of them are pretty expensive, and some in the Mag 7 won't benefit from AI and could be viciously harmed by different market shifts and consumer demand shifts from traditional search to now AI-assisted search. And not everybody is well positioned in a world where most people are spending their days on ChatGPT. I know my own habits. I've completely shifted the way I spend time with regard to search and with regard to looking for information. Most of my day is spent on ChatGPT, which is a huge assistant, and much less of my day is spent using Google search. So there will be winners and losers from AI. It's tough to paint AI with a broad brush, but I think there's lots of opportunity. We happen to own Microsoft and Broadcom. Both businesses we think will benefit greatly from AI over the next half decade to decade. So there's lots of opportunity. There will be winners and there will be losers. We think that the aerospace end market is attractive, particularly the aftermarket aerospace parts business, which is very recurring in nature and is likely to get exempted from any meaningful amount of tariffs. So engine businesses, parts businesses that power travel, which we think will be a secular growth end market, is attractive to us. Stock exchanges, which are these global utilities or national utilities for countries where business there is very recurring in nature, and there really is no competition for the national stock exchanges. And software businesses that have long-term maintenance contracts associated with the products that are being sold. Those are really attractive businesses because even in a soft economy and an economy that's being hit by tariffs, you still need to be able to turn on your systems and make sure that they can operate regardless of the end market.
The European Union on Friday agreed to an 18th package of sanctions against Russia over its war in Ukraine. The package aims to deal further blows to the Russian oil and energy industry and to lower the G7's price cap for buying Russian crude oil to $47.6 per barrel, according to diplomats. The EU's foreign policy chief said it's one of the strongest packages against Moscow to date. However, Russia has so far managed to sell most of its oil above the previous price cap, as the current mechanism makes it unclear who must police its implementation. Traders have said they doubt the new EU sanctions will significantly disrupt the Russian oil trade. The package also has a ban on transactions related to Russia's Nord Stream gas pipelines under the Baltic Sea, as well as on Russia's financial sector. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky called the decision essential and timely. That's as Russia has intensified its air war on Ukrainian cities and villages. The group of 7 Western economic powers have tried to impose a price cap on purchases of Russian oil since 2022. But the US has resisted, leaving the EU to move forward on its own, though analysts say that's without any real power to enforce the measure.
From central bank meetings to reports from some of the Magnificent Seven, these are the stories to watch in business and finance in the coming week. The European Central Bank is set to pause on Thursday after 8 consecutive rate cuts halved its policy rate to 2%. It comes as a 30% U.S. tariff threat looms over the Eurozone. Policymakers will be reluctant to create the sense that they are reacting to a threat, but they'll have to reassess their worst-case scenario from June, which foresaw a lower tariff level. More than 1/5 of S&P 500 companies are expected to report in the coming week. Market heavyweights Alphabet and Tesla are the first of the Magnificent Seven to report this period. Results are also due from Coca-Cola, IBM, and Philip Morris International. July surveys of business activity across the globe may capture shifts in behavior in both services and manufacturing in response to Trump's new August 1st tariff deadline. 22 of the world's 34 largest economies have slowing activity, leaving the services sector to do much of the heavy lifting. In June, services activity in the US, Eurozone, China, and Germany were slower than in December and well below last June. Among richer nations, only Japan and Britain saw a year-on-year improvement in service sector activity last month. Turkey's central bank is expected to return to rate cuts on Thursday. That's after the March detention of Istanbul Mayor Ekrem İmamoğlu roiled markets, knocked the lira to a record low, saw stocks trading suspended, and prompted the central bank to hike overnight rates to 46%. A Reuters poll showed expectations for a 250 basis point cut, with some predicting as much as 350 BPS. Central banks in Hungary and Russia also hold rate meetings in the coming week.
US President Donald Trump's 30% tariffs are threatening to take the fizz out of the French champagne industry. Producers warn the levies will push up prices for consumers and threaten jobs along the supply chain, including in the United States. The US is the biggest market for champagne, with 10% of exports by volume, equivalent to 27 million to 30 million bottles per year. Maxime Toubard, chairman of industry group Comité Champagne, says 70% of champagne sales are concentrated in 5 countries. While he says tariffs should encourage producers to seek new markets, replacing US sales is not easy.
We can't just wipe out in a few days all the commercial work that has been done over 200 years. We can't just take our volumes to Asia or South America today. We have the ambition to continue to trade with the United States.
The tariffs, due to come in on August 1st, aren't the only threat. Climate change looms large for independent producers like Stéphane Vignon.
We already suffer enough from climate risks. Our finances are drained by this, and that is very bad news that will harm all the players in the market.
A small silver lining, he says, is boutique producers like him could grow their share in the US with more competitive prices and top quality. Total champagne exports fell more than 10% last year, but rose slightly in the first 4 months of 2025, ahead of a 10% tariff in April, data showed.
All right, let's take a look at that weather forecast for northwest Pennsylvania. Sun and clouds mixed today, cooler and less humid with temperatures in the upper 70s. Generally clear skies tonight with a low in the low 50s. Tuesday, sunshine and 80. Wednesday, partly cloudy, upper 80s. Thursday, mostly sunny, low 90s. Friday, thunderstorms, temperatures in the mid 80s. Meadville this morning. Checking in at 60 degrees. Cambridge Springs, Edinburgh at 60. Titusville 60. Franklin 61. Oil City 61 degrees here at 7:50. This is the Morning Drill. You're watching it on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Glad you're with us here on this Monday morning. Brand new week. A lot of excitement for the week. And hard to believe next month high school football gets underway. First game around the 22nd of August, so it's coming quickly. Saw this story yesterday. Get your take on it here this morning.
Okay.
A recent survey revealed that 43% of Americans would end their relationship for $1 million, highlighting how financial incentives can outweigh emotional ties for many. The poll surveyed over 3,000 U.S. adults to examine the lengths people would go for monetary gain. Results show that 32% of respondents have remained in a relationship longer than they wanted due to financial dependence, while 23% admitted they couldn't afford to leave. Additionally, 28% said they'd consider rekindling a past relationship if it meant achieving financial security. So 43% of Americans would walk away from their partner for $1 million. To which you responded, $1 million? $1,000? I'd walk away from Luke for $1,000.
No, I didn't. I'm thinking, like, it depends on the time frame that you get the funds, because then you're only going to get $500,000 if you're married. You've got to split it. So it'd be a win-win, right?
So it's not quite. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right. So it's got to be more money. Well, no, because
you'd still have to split it.
Yeah. Well, maybe.
And it's not like, you know.
Are you saying in that study that both partners? I think this is under the assumption like you get divorced. You walk away.
And then you get the money.
Yeah. It's got to be under that premise, not that you have to split it in the divorce hearings.
Gotcha.
But that would be fascinating. Would that percentage go up if both sides knew they were getting a chunk of change?
Probably. Like, yeah, do it. We can get back together later if you want to.
Yeah, I wonder what... they don't give the specifics on the questions that were asked. But
no.
That's a really good...
Sorry.
Some good questions you bring up.
I had to throw.
Yeah.
Throw a wrench into that.
Yeah, do both sides get it? And then could you get back together?
Yeah. Just saying.
Okay.
Just saying.
By the way, we lost, I think. We played the Powerball, whatever day, Saturday.
Oh, okay.
And lost, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nobody won. So
it's up to like 300 and some? It was 288, I think, on Saturday.
Yeah. So now it's 300.
So
something.
this is just bad.
Yeah.
It's to the point where in my head, anything less than a certain amount isn't worth it.
Yeah.
Isn't that stupid?
It is. I look at it as we're investing in our future, whether we win or lose, because it benefits older Pennsylvanians. Okay.
I have been looking at it like, boy, you could do this, we could do this. We could build a dome for, local sports. So we're going to need at least a couple $100 million to do the things we want to do. So when I hear like it's at $10 million, I'm like, that's not.
No, we're not there yet.
Don't want to.
Sorry.
You take the money if you get it.
Exactly.
So you're going to take the money to walk away from this relationship.
No.
Okay, you're not going to do that.
I'm not. No.
Okay. Well, 43% of people said in this study that they would. So are you surprised by that or not really?
No, not really. I don't know. I'm not. Money seems to be a driving force for a lot of bad decisions in life. So And I get that pleasure of seeing it, firsthand in my job.
So. Oh, right. You're not saying me.
No, in my job.
Right.
No. It's like, it helps you make the worst possible decisions sometimes. So, yeah.
Okay. Listen, I was thinking last night when we were out golfing, it was just you and me. Mm-hmm. It was quiet, and it was just very relaxing.
It was.
So
it was nice. What does that have to do with bad decisions?
Nothing. As I'm saying that, because I'm thinking, you're saying money isn't everything.
Yeah.
But I'm like, well, yeah. Like last night was just nice.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, well, if we had the money, I guess we could play golf every night and do that. I'm joking. All right, a couple of quick headlines before wrapping up this morning. A couple airline stories here. Delta, did you see this?
Yes.
Delta regional pilot had to make an aggressive maneuver to avoid a collision with the B-52 bomber. The other headline, Alaska Airlines grounded all their flights. Did you see that?
I did not see that.
All of their flights, like their computer system across the board went down.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. So,
well, they just took over Hawaiian Airlines too recently, right? They've been growing.
Yeah, and they have another one too. Let me see here. Alaska Airlines said its operations. Okay, so operations have resumed after a temporary ground stop was issued on all flights and those of a regional basis. Horizon Air is the other one.
Okay.
So Horizon Air, due to an IT outage, the company said Sunday evening.
Growing pains.
Alaska. Yeah, well, maybe. Alaska Airlines said that around 11 p.m. it experienced an IT outage that resulted in a temporary system-wide ground stop for Alaska Airlines and Horizon Air flights. And the Horizon, I guess, mainly serves the Pacific Northwest and Alaska. So the Federal Aviation Administration's website said late Sunday that the request to ground all Alaska Airlines mainline flights was made about 10:52 p.m. As of 2 a.m. Monday, the ground stop has been lifted and operations have resumed. So if you're planning on flying and you're flying with Alaska, you should be back to flying. So
sweet.
Yeah. Let's see. Any other quick headlines here before we move on? Next hour, by the way, Titusville City Councilman Gavin Griffin will be joining us. Tomorrow on the program, Joe Tech will be with us. Looking forward to that. Right there, just an indicator of how important technology is and how quickly it can, it can be great, but when it's not, it's not.
Yeah.
So, anything else? There's a lot. Well, with the Open wrapping up yesterday, a lot of talk about Ryder Cup standings and getting ready for that here in September, I believe. U.S. Team captain Keegan Bradley said Bryson DeChambeau will make the Ryder Cup team regardless of qualifying. I don't know about that. I like Bryson DeChambeau. He plays for Live Golf now, and that's the only thing that I don't really care about with his decision to do that. But he's great with fans, has a lot of energy, very friendly guy. He's got a YouTube channel that teaches golf.
Oh, cool.
And does some cool things. But Keegan Bradley said Bryson is going to be a very important piece to us winning the Ryder Cup. Bradley told Sports Illustrated in a text message, he brings so much. He brings energy, passion, and most importantly, he's one of the best players on the planet. DeChambeau posted a final round 64 Sunday at Royal Portrush to finish tied for 10th at the British Open. He's now finished inside the top 10 at 3 of the 4 major championships this season. But as DeChambeau competes with Live Golf, he's no longer eligible for points on the U.S. Ryder Cup standings. He's currently 5th on that list. So there's that. But all right, weather-wise, we are looking at a pretty decent day today. Looking at sunshine, not quite as hot or humid. Sun and clouds mix, cooler and less humid. Highs today in the upper 70s. So make sure you get out and enjoy some beautiful weather here today. Generally clear skies tonight with a low in the low 50s. This is the Morning Drill. Watching it on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel.
Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba vowed to remain in office on Monday after his ruling coalition suffered a bruising defeat in upper house elections the day prior.
I'm not currently thinking of a deadline regarding how long I will continue. As I mentioned earlier, we will do our utmost to find a way to resolve pressing issues such as the US tariff measures, rising prices, natural disasters that could happen tomorrow, and the most complex and challenging security environment of the post-war era.
Ishiba's ruling coalition fell 3 seats short of the 50 it needed to ensure a majority in the upper chamber, in an election where half of the 248 seats there were up for grabs. In addition to economic anxiety over rising prices, particularly a jump in the cost of rice, Ishiba also appears to have been hurt at the ballot box by his lack of progress in tariff talks with Japan's biggest trading partner, the United States, ahead of a looming August 1st deadline. The leader of the main opposition party, Yoshihiko Noda, said on Sunday he is considering submitting a vote of non-confidence in the Ishiba administration, as the election results showed it did not have voters' trust. And according to local media reports on Monday, some senior lawmakers in the embattled premier's own party were also quietly voicing doubts over whether he should stay. Analysts say Ishiba's days may be numbered, having also lost control of the more powerful lower house in elections last year, and shedding votes in Sunday's contest, to opposition parties pledging to cut taxes and tighten immigration policies.
For over 11 years, Triple M Roofing has been providing Amish-quality craftsmanship and work ethic that you can rely on. Pole barns, decks, porches, siding, and almost all roofing needs, Triple M Roofing will get the job done on time without sacrificing quality or the promise to deliver within your budget. Call today for a free estimate, 814-964-0472. Waiting is what you'll do with the other guys. Getting it done is what we do. Amish-owned and operated, we're Triple M Roofing.
Who can solve this equation? Ooh, me. Anyone else? Fine. Jake from State Farm. Again.
Right. It's the personal price plan theorem. If you bundle your home and auto, that can equal an affordable price just for you. Bundling. Just another way to save with the personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Are you tired of juggling multiple pill bottles? Titusville Express Pharmacy has your solution, now offering compliance packaging. Your medication sorted and sealed by dose, making it easier than ever to stay on track. In a hurry? Take advantage of our convenient drive-through service. We also offer free local delivery for those that qualify. Titusville Express Pharmacy, where convenience meets care. Visit us today at 401 West Spring Street in Titusville. Simplify your medication routine with Titusville Express Pharmacy.
Poppy's Equipment and Storage Rental in Pleasantville is committed to providing our customers with exceptional service while offering quality rental equipment. Poppy's is now an authorized steel dealer with everything you need to have for sawing and cutting or mowing to digging. And of course, Poppy's has tents, tables, chairs, heaters, generators, barbecues, and more for your next wedding or get-together. Need firewood or propane? No problem. Whether you're in construction or a weekend warrior, reach out to Poppy's about your next project. Poppy's Place on the Tenesta Road in Pleasantville. Community Connect Federal Credit Union, serving Crawford, Venango, Forest, and Warren counties. Their mission is to provide quality, low-cost, and personal financial products for the growth and security of their members and families. Stop in, call, or visit our website, communityconnectfcu.com, and click Join to get started. Community Connect Federal Credit Union, 1050 East Spring Street in Titusville.
Fat Chad's Brewing is Titusville's premier dining destination, offering fine dining served with a cold beverage and great conversations. Try our new menu items, the T-bone steak, homemade meatloaf dinner, or soft shell crab tacos. Our pasta entries and sandwiches are just as popular. Try the new lobster ravioli, shrimp and scallop pasta, or our popular Asiago chicken. Don't forget about our famous burgers or fish sandwich, all served with fresh cut fries. Come in Saturday nights for Wild Game Saturdays. For good food and good times, it's Fat Chad's Brewing in Titusville.
Titusville Market Square is home to over 100 unique vendors featuring antiques, collectibles, candles, coins, baked goods, dairy products, food items, comic books, toys, and so much more. You'll discover something new every time you walk through the door. Did we mention the selection of baked goods, breads, Clark's Donuts, and Amish pies? Titusville Market Square has you covered. Stop in to explore today. Titusville Market Square in downtown Titusville.
Thinking about switching to 5G home internet? Think again. Unlike Zoom from Armstrong, 5G home internet is delivered by a cell tower. The further away you are, or the more devices connected to that tower, the slower your internet is. Cell phone providers also play favorites. When their network gets busy, cell phones win, and your home internet pays the price. Stick with Armstrong to get more data, more speed, and internet whenever you need it, not whenever they want. Armstrong, keeping you connected.
Stocks finished flat to lower Friday, with the Dow dropping about 1/3% and the S&P 500 and NASDAQ ending near break-even. All three indexes dipped earlier in the session after a Financial Times report indicated U.S. President Donald Trump was pushing for steep new tariffs on European Union products. The report said the Trump administration was eyeing a minimum tariff of between 15% and 20% in any deal with the European bloc. Joseph Shaposhnik, portfolio manager with Rainwater Equity, says he isn't concerned about any lingering effects of these negotiations or the ultimate deals.
Tariffs will be a persistent topic of conversation and a driver of markets to some extent for some period of time, but not for the indefinite future. And we think there will be a lot of bluster, a lot of loud conversations, a lot of headlines, but at the end of the day, we're most likely to end up basically where we started in terms of tariff rates in general. Perhaps there'll be some level of elevated tariffs, but they will not be significant enough to really impact the overall economy. We're going to end up basically where we started.
Economic data this week offered mixed signals, including robust retail sales, a rise in consumer inflation, and flat producer prices for June. Data released on Friday showed the University of Michigan's closely watched Consumer Sentiment Index rose this month, though consumers remain concerned about future price pressures. An earnings season kicked off this week, giving an opportunity to U.S. corporations to showcase how tariffs were or were not affecting their businesses. Stocks on the move included 3M, which fell more than 3.5% after the company said the impact of tariffs will mostly be felt in the second half of the year. And shares of Netflix fell 5%, despite the success of Squid Game helping the company surpass earnings forecasts. The streaming company also lifted its annual revenue outlook.
Here now is Gavin Griffin, City Councilman for the city of Titusville. It's Gavin Griffin. Here now is Gavin Griffin.
All right. Joining us this morning is City Councilman Gavin Griffin, City of Titusville. Hi, Gavin. How are you today?
Good morning, Luke. You know, I always feel so special when I come in. You have a special jingle set up just for me. It's really quite an honor.
Yeah, not the coffee, it's the jingles, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Morning drill singer's working hard to put that together for you this morning. How's it going?
Oh, not too bad, not too bad. We're staying busy at the City of Titusville. We had a City Council meeting last Wednesday. It was fairly short. We just had a couple of things on the agenda, and we have now 2 weeks in between. So it's always nice when we get a little bit extra break between council meetings, and August is coming up real quick.
So I know you've said before, you get in the summer and maybe some of those meetings are a little shorter. You just want to get out and enjoy the weather, and there's a lot of things going on. But that doesn't mean there aren't things to discuss, or the community shouldn't, be interested in what's going on. They can attend meetings and see what's happening, throw in support. And again, we say this all the time. You don't need to go to a meeting just to complain about something. You can go to learn. You can go to share ideas, or just say, hey, thanks for this, or great job with that. So lots of reasons to attend a meeting.
Absolutely, and some of the most constructive meetings are the ones where we have members of the public come and they bring an idea or voice a concern, or they support something that they had read in the paper or saw on this show. And so when that happens, we're able to work together with those folks on tackling an issue that maybe we weren't aware of. And so it's always very good when we have a full crowd.
Finally made it down to the complex Friday. BMX had a big event over the weekend, and congratulations to them. But the paving, man, that looks really nice down there.
Yeah, and we're very, very thankful that we were able to do that. Of course, as you know, BMX has put a lot of money and time and effort into their portion of the complex, but we also have our school sports down there, and youth soccer, and youth softball, and so we wanted to make sure that was a place that we continued to invest in, and that was one of the areas we saw most fit for it. I know, having been down there quite a few times over the years, that the potholes just seem to get worse and worse, and so my car thanks the city of Titusville just as much as I do.
And there's actually, I think, lines painted, right, for parking by the track there, so cleans that up a little bit. But yeah, I just thought it was very nice. I'm like, I can't believe I haven't been down here since before it got paved. It looks great. Obviously, parks, and we can talk specifically about Ed Meyer, but parks in general. It seems like there's always room in the conversations over the year. What are we working on for the summer and to address our parks? Obviously, playground equipment, big in the last couple of years. Paving. Is there still a list of a lot of other items you guys would like to tackle? It's just a matter of, okay, we did it for this year, now maybe next year we can get to this other thing.
Yeah, we have a very, very long to-do list.
Okay.
And so that's something. We only have one or two of our city employees dedicated to parks every day, and most of their work is mowing and maintenance and things of that nature. So they're not really capable of looking long-term at what we may need in the coming years ahead. And so that's why we're very happy to introduce a new committee. So we have a new Parks and Rec committee. We're looking for 6 members of the public to sit on that as voting members, and then additional non-voting members, associate members. So if you're interested, if you have a stake in our parks, or you use them, frequently, whether you play tennis or pickleball, or just like to take your dog down to the dog park, we'd like to hear from you.
Okay, so you need to go online if you're interested in applying that way. Okay.
That's right. It's on our city website at cityoftitusvillepa.gov, and if you have any questions, you can always call the manager's office at 814-827-5300.
All right. Junior Council proclamations. Jenna Crocker, Gracie Sampson. Talk about that.
Yes. So we've had these 2 wonderful young women serving as our junior members of council. They've been on, I want to say, since the beginning of this year. Jenna will be staying on as she'll be a senior in high school this year, and then Gracie is off to college next month, so we wanted to make sure that we honored them for their service, and they've done a wonderful job filling that role.
Great. It's hard to believe it's going to be in a new school year here, and
I know. Time flies when you're staying busy,
Also, monthly reports for June: building inspector, finance, fire, police, public works, water. Anything that comes up that you had to address, or was it pretty straightforward?
Those are usually pretty straightforward. We receive those ahead of the meeting, so if we have any questions, we're able to reach out to Neil or to the department head directly and get those answered. But we did have one member of the public ask a question during that time. She was wondering if the public can see those reports, and of course, being the public's business, they're available. We have them at City Hall, so if you are interested in seeing those, you can stop in at the city manager's office.
Nice. Minutes from boards and authorities, Benson Memorial Library, Titusville Housing Authority. Learn anything there, or is it, again, kind of routine?
Those are pretty routine. I will say that I serve as liaison to the Housing Authority, and they are the easiest assignment that you can possibly hope for. They take care of everything themselves. If there's ever an issue, they'll reach out to me directly, but for the most part, they do a wonderful, wonderful job.
What would people be kind of surprised to know when it comes to like Benson Memorial Library or Titusville Housing Authority? Is there something that the public might go, oh, I didn't know that?
Well, I think housing is a lot more involved than we think it is, right? We think of Central Towers only because it's the tallest building in town, and you can see it from just about anywhere. But they also have plenty of Section 8 housing, so that's voucher housing. Those are private residences that are rented out, and so they subsidize that. It all comes down to them through Housing and Urban Development in Washington, and so there's a lot that goes into their work, and I'm just, very proud of the work that they do. And Benson Memorial Library, you would think that's pretty straightforward, just open the place, let people borrow books. But right now they're going through, that was another thing on our agenda, a new restoration of their roof. So we approved a contract for them to get a new roof. So there's always lots of stuff going on, and very often lots of money involved.
Yeah, well, one, it's a beautiful building. It's funny how when people are talking about some of the homes and buildings that we have in town, Benson sometimes gets overlooked, and it's like you sometimes forget just how cool of a library we have here.
Yeah.
So stop in if you haven't been in a while.
Absolutely, and they always have plenty to do. They've got lots of events going on all the time, and I've had the pleasure of renting out their program room basement for projects before, and it's always available. So stop in, say hello, grab a book.
Yeah. And, they've got, they have programming throughout the year. They've got summer programs. They've got programs once, kids are back to school. But there's a lot going on there. And, again, as you said, they've got the books, obviously. But there's other things in the library you can take advantage of. So if you haven't been in, stop in and kind of take a look around and see what's available.
Yeah, there's also plenty of movies for those of us like you and I, Luke, that are obsessed. So stop in, rent those out.
The new blockbuster is Benson Memorial Library.
Yeah.
That's great. All right. Yeah, I forget about that.
That's where I got my love of movies, was going in there. My mother would get a book, and I'd get a movie. Probably not the best for me in terms of literacy, but, I caught up eventually.
Mama, I can't read.
Yeah, but I did watch The Godfather, so,
good.
I got culture somewhere.
That's good. Yeah. Council committee updates. Anything big there?
No, nothing to report. I sit on the airport board, and we've currently had sort of a shift in some of our folks there. Someone had to resign, just health concerns, and so we've been working with them to try and get more minutes and reports from that board, just so that we can stay in the loop as council as to what's going on out there.
So big plans for the airport, or have they kind of backed down just a little bit? As again, these projects and ideas take money and can be hard to generate sometimes, especially when emergencies pop up elsewhere.
Yeah, too often I think when something's at the top of our to-do list, and then we get that call Monday morning that something hit the fan, we kind of reshuffle, and so it's something that I think has been pushed to the back burner, but they still do wonderful work on the board to make sure that they're pushing everything forward and pursuing grants to help us keep the airport open and in good condition.
Yeah, when you have projects come up like the water well situation, right, or the city garage building, and maybe you can update us on all of that, but when those things come up and you've got this list over here of great projects you want to tackle, and it's like, okay, well, now we got this other stuff we have to worry about.
Yeah, it's always a challenge. That's one of the things I love about this job, is you never quite know what's going to come your way. But we have lots on our to-do list each and every day, and things like the garage or the water well project, or even just a water main break. I mean, we've had several over the past week, and that always throws a wrench into whatever our public works department is doing until they can get it fixed. So, yeah, it's uncertain, but it's one of the things I love about it.
Hard to believe we're down to the last few months here, Gavin.
Yeah, that's right.
What are some thoughts you're going through your mind right now?
Well, so everybody keeps asking what my plans are afterwards, and I tell them graduating from college, I've still got 1 year left. So by the time that I am done serving the city of Titusville, I will have a few months left at Mercyhurst University, and then we will see what is next. But I certainly don't anticipate leaving the region. I'll still be around. Northwest PA has always been my home, and I'm proud to serve it each and every day.
All right. See some under new business from last week, land development, and this pertains to 701 East Spring Street.
Yes, so that's, those not familiar, there's some property owned by the Redevelopment Authority right across from city limits, so there's a big field there. We heard from Joe Roddy of Stifler McGraw, as well as Marvin Zook, who will be putting in a new concrete batch plant down there. So we went over all the drawings and a packet about that thick of information, and so that got a majority approval, and that'll begin here soon.
Anybody question or concerned about that business dealing?
Yeah, I was the lone vote against that.
Okay.
Just out of some of the concerns with pollutants. Obviously, there's a lot of folks that live right there, and so I wanted to make sure we were doing our due diligence to ensure that they wouldn't be adversely affected by it. And so I didn't get quite all the answers that I was hoping for, and that's okay. You know, we've made the decision, and we'll move forward from here.
And what can you give us sort of a quick rundown of what sort of development they're talking about for that space?
Sure. So for those not familiar, a concrete batch plant is a mix of some aggregate and gravel and sand and different things. It's a fairly small operation, but the footprint of the plant, while being small, includes, you know, piles for different aggregate and gravel, all that. And so they'll be mixing it up and have probably, I think they said 4 or 5 cement trucks that would be working out of there. So they anticipate working from 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. Every day, and we'll see, you know, as that gets going, probably this fall.
Okay. And I guess a project like that, does anybody discuss like the future of that? Like if that business were to take off, are there opportunities to relocate that to another spot, or would it be enough space for them to grow within that plot as well?
Sure. You know, it's a fairly large space, and so the fact that it's only taking up a rather small footprint is good if they wanted to expand. But we did have a member of the public, someone that lives right nearby, ask whether, you know, they'd be purchasing all of that land or whether things would move in beside them, or what that might look like. And he said, well, you know, see where it goes, and you can't quite anticipate whether a business like that'll go off, and so we'll hope it does. But
all right, and I'm going to ask you about another business that popped up, but let's do this real quick. You're watching the Morning Drill on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Titusville City Councilman Gavin Griffin with us here this morning. The Creamery Coffee Shop, that's really coming along. I realize that's a private business, but have they indicated when they hope to open?
I had heard, so at our council meeting, the gentleman that's putting that development in was there, and so I talked with him very briefly. He was hoping here in the next month or so that they'd have it all wrapped up. But as you can see, if you drive down that way, it's coming along very quick. And I always say that was one of the happiest yes votes of my council career, being a coffee and ice cream fanatic. So we're looking forward to that.
So was this person hoping by Oil Fest, or does it look like it might be after that?
I mean, that would certainly be the hope, but you know, it may take a little bit longer than that. The good thing about their business is that you know, unlike some of the other ice cream shops, they're not going to be closed by October. They're going to be open all year round. They have indoor and drive-through options. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. I can't believe we're going to say this, but PennDOT Winter Maintenance Service Agreement. Already getting ready for the winter, huh?
Yeah, well, we don't want to use the S word quite this soon, but we've approved that contract for winter maintenance with PennDOT. That's something that we do every year, length of the agreement, and so we want to make sure that we're thinking ahead to that. Last year was pretty rough in terms of our winter and snowfall, and so we're looking forward to having those things in place and hopefully a little bit smoother sailing over the winter months this year.
All right. When you get to, I always like this, public input and then comments by the mayor, council, junior council. Is there pressure to make a comment, or is it okay just to be like, no, I'm good?
No, very often we have folks just say, yeah, I think I've said everything I have to say, and, see you in 2 weeks. But I always try to make sure that I highlight something because it ends up in the paper and in our minutes and in the public. Try to highlight something that's going on, make sure that people are aware of it, or even just kind of give credit where credit's due. I know we have plenty of wonderful things going on in this community, and I think that in a position like ours, it's our job to champion that.
Community yard sales took place over the weekend. Looked like ton of people took part and enjoyed that, which is great. The stage coming along down at Founders Park. You want to give us a quick update there, and then I guess you got Oil Festival in here in a couple weeks.
That's right, coming up very quick, and we have that new stage going in there at Founders Park, right below the brand new mural, and so that should be done here in the next week or so. And our city guys are taking care of that to do a wonderful job. So we're looking forward to having that there. And then on August 8th, so that's the Friday of Oil Festival, we'll do a brief grand opening ribbon cutting for the new mural. And so we invite the public to come out to that, and we'll have all the information on our city website and Facebook.
I can't tell you how many people have just commented on that mural. And I'm even seeing folks taking their pictures by it and posting it, which is really cool to see.
Yeah, I was just happened to walk to lunch from the office the other day, and there was a gentleman there who was taking selfies with it, and I walk up and he goes, "Hey, would you mind getting my picture for me?" He's like, "This is beautiful. I just drove in from out of town and I wanted to stop and get a picture." So it's one of those things I didn't realize until the artist had posted on Facebook a compilation of all the folks that had stopped by or said hello while she was working, and it's one of those things you don't think about it at first because you see the dollar sign, but when it comes down to it, it's about community. And the amount of folks that stopped by and brought a camping chair and sat around and listened to music and talked to each other, it's not something that you see very often nowadays in the 21st century, but it's something that still exists here in our small town.
What's the hope for that park, and now that the stage is built, and is that something that's going to be in play this year for Oil Festival, or what's kind of the idea?
Yeah, so it should be all set for Oil Festival. We're hoping that we can get some folks to utilize that space, but also through the fall months. We have lots of local musicians that play on our street corners or in our restaurants and pubs, and so we're hoping that we can draw some people in to do small concerts and events in that park and utilize that space effectively.
Friday, August 8th kicks off Oil Festival. A lot of great entertainment. Same sort of plans with the road closures in town and stuff? Any changes there?
Not that I am aware of. So that should all still be the same. As you know, most of Central and Spring will be shut down. Franklin as well, portions of Franklin Street. So, just beware of that, and don't get too frustrated when you have a detour if you're driving through town at that time. But we certainly encourage folks to come out and enjoy the festivities.
What's your favorite part of Oil Festival?
Oh, the food. I'm a sucker for a good food truck. So when we have the Big Cheese, that's one of my favorites. Last year we had the car cruising, and Missy's and their folks did some ice cream floats, and so always the food.
Okay, and it's coming fast, so be prepared. And really, you're only talking Friday late afternoon through Saturday, and then roads back open by Sunday mornings. So
yep, Yeah, so everything for the festival will be wrapped up Saturday evening, and then of course Drake Wells doing their big Drake Day Circus on Sunday, so town will be reopened by that point, but we encourage folks to make a whole weekend of it. Whether you're local or just visiting for the weekend, we hope to see you out and about.
Hard to believe the concerts in the park. I think it looks like there might be a few extra dates this year where it's kind of extended well into August as opposed to ending, the week of Oil Festival, I think, in the past. But still some opportunity to get out and enjoy some Monday night concerts in the park. The nice thing is, if the weather doesn't cooperate, you got Ironworks that you can go to.
Yeah, and either way, we can't lose, because whether you're in Shady Park or down at Ironworks, they're both beautiful spaces for that community event to come together. And we certainly thank Bob Joyce and his team down at Ironworks for being there on a moment's notice. So, yeah, we have a good band tonight. They're jazz, blues, rooftop, something. Yeah. So they'll be here tonight.
The Rooftop Project.
Rooftop Project. So come out and enjoy some live music and good food, and we'll see you there.
All right. Gavin, good to see you this morning.
Good to see you, Luke.
All right, all the best.
As Syrian forces took up position near Sweda on Sunday, the government announced Bedouin fighters had withdrawn from the city. Local residents described a tense calm in the area after days of violent conflict left hundreds reported dead. It began with factional clashes between Bedouin and Druze fighters, before Damascus sent in government troops, which were then accused of attacking the Druze. This prompted Israel to launch airstrikes at the Syrian forces as it declared support for the community. A ceasefire was agreed on Saturday, but gunfire continues to ring out, prompting President Ahmed al-Sharaa to urge all parties to respect the truce. The government said on Sunday that following deployment, clashes had been halted and Bedouin fighters cleared from the predominantly Druze region. This bloodshed underscores the challenge al-Sharaa faces as he tries to stitch back together a country of different sectarian and ethnic groups, which has seen 14 years of conflict. US envoy Tom Barrack said Syria is at a, quote, critical juncture where peace and dialogue must prevail.
Hi, I'm Jasmine Levin, and I proudly own and operate Puppy Levin. Puppy Levin is a pet care salon dedicated to caring for your furry companions. We provide certified dog grooming services, along with boarding and doggy daycare. Our facility is family-owned and operated and promise personalized care for every pet that comes through our doors. If you're worried about your furry friend being lonely when you're gone, we also have on-site personnel 24/7 just for their comfort. Follow us on Facebook and call or text us at 814-758-9259 to make an appointment today.
Anyone with a kind and generous heart and a little money can be a philanthropist. You too can be a force for good in our community, and the Crawford Heritage Community Foundation is here to help you make the most of your charitable giving. We've partnered with hundreds of people like you to make our world and our community a better place. You can give through us to support scholarships or any charitable organization or purpose. Whether you're interested in establishing a permanent endowment or adding to an existing fund, we want to be a part of your plan. Contact us when you're ready to make your mark. Together, we can make your contribution go further.
The Gordon B. Garrett Funeral Home has been serving the needs of Titusville and surrounding communities since 1965. Mr. Garrett believed in tradition and commitment to excellence, standards that have been passed down from one generation to now a new generation, who will work to provide you with a beautiful, lasting tribute to your loved one. When you need them, they will be there for you. This has been their foundation for almost 60 years. The Gordon B. Garrett Funeral Home, 303 North Washington Street in Titusville.
Thinking about switching to 5G home internet? Think again. Unlike Zoom from Armstrong, 5G home internet is delivered by a cell tower. The further away you are, or the more devices connected to that tower, the slower your internet is. Cell phone providers also play favorites. When their network gets busy, cell phones win, and your home internet pays the price. Stick with Armstrong to get more data, more speed, and internet whenever you need it, not whenever they want. Armstrong, keeping you connected.
Sheer Design is Titusville's exclusive Paul Mitchell-focused salon. This full-service salon specializes in coloring, cuts, nails, and tanning. Owner Angela Saxon has over 20 years' experience as a Paul Mitchell professional. She and her licensed staff offer all cuts and styles for men and women of all ages. Call 814-827-0010 or stop in at 116 South Kerr Street in Titusville.
J. Gill Plumbing and Heating takes pride in being the premier heating and air conditioning service provider in the area. With over 30 years of experience, our highly skilled and certified technicians will work closely with you to address your heating and air conditioning repair, installation, or maintenance needs. Our team is dedicated to making your home the ultimate place of comfort. Call today to get a free estimate. We also offer financing options and membership opportunities that provide peace of mind and cost savings. Call J. Gill Plumbing and Heating today or visit them online 24/7 at jgillplumbingheating.com.
If you're looking for a professional massage therapist, Tranquil Moments Massage in Titusville is here for you. Ray and Rauch graduated from Slippery Rock University with a bachelor's degree in exercise and rehabilitative sciences with an emphasis in athletic training. Tranquil Moments offers a wide range of services from Swedish massage to deep tissue, sugar scrubs to hot towel inclusion therapy. Like them on Facebook and visit their website to learn more about all the services they offer. Tranquil Moments Massage in Titusville.
Share the fun of train travel and relive our country's oil history as you ride the OC&T through the valley that changed the world. Learn about the past while traveling on vintage cars. See a variety of wildlife with stops at Drakewell Park, Petroleum Center, and Oil Creek State Park. Arrive early and see the vast collection of train and railroad memorabilia at Perry Street Station. After the ride, enjoy a night's stay at the Caboose Motel. For seasonal specials or for more information, visit octrr.org or call 814-676-1733.
Stocks finished flat to lower Friday, with the Dow dropping about 1/3% and the S&P 500 and Nasdaq ending near break-even. All three indexes dipped earlier in the session after a Financial Times report indicated U.S. President Donald Trump was pushing for steep new tariffs on European Union products. The report said the Trump administration was eyeing a minimum tariff of between 15% and 20% in any deal with the European bloc. Joseph Shaposhnik, portfolio manager with Rainwater Equity, says he isn't concerned about any lingering effects of these negotiations or the ultimate deals.
Tariffs will be a persistent topic of conversation and a driver of markets to some extent for some period of time, but not for the indefinite future. And we think there will be a lot of bluster, a lot of loud conversations, a lot of headlines, but at the end of the day, we're most likely to end up basically where we started in terms of tariff rates in general. Perhaps there'll be some level of elevated tariffs, but they will not be significant enough to really impact the overall economy. We're going to end up basically where we started.
Economic data this week offered mixed signals, including robust retail sales, a rise in consumer inflation, and flat producer prices for June. Data released on Friday showed the University of Michigan's closely watched Consumer Sentiment Index rose this month, though consumers remain concerned about future price pressures. An earnings season kicked off this week, giving an opportunity to U.S. corporations to showcase how tariffs were or were not affecting their businesses. Stocks on the move included 3M, which fell more than 3.5% after the company said the impact of tariffs will mostly be felt in the second half of the year. And shares of Netflix fell 5%, despite the success of Squid Game helping the company surpass earnings forecasts. The streaming company also lifted its annual revenue outlook.
Dr. Benjamin Carlberg is an interventional radiologist and Meadville Medical Center 2025 Doctor of the Year. Doc, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So many places to start, but let's go back a few years. Where did you grow up?
So I grew up in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, so not too far away. I did most of my training except for medical school in Pittsburgh, so somewhat local to the area. Still live in Wexford, but I grew up in Western Pennsylvania. Went to college in Indiana. Went to medical school at Drexel University in Philadelphia, and then again did my residency at Allegheny General and my fellowship at UPMC.
When did you know this is the path you wanted to take?
So actually in medical school during the first several rotations, I realized that I wasn't particularly interested in sort of the major fields of medicine and surgery, but I did a couple rotations in radiology and found that very interesting. And then actually during my surgery rotation, we went down to the interventional radiology suite, and I saw some procedures down there that were very fascinating. And so that kind of piqued my interest somewhat early on in medical school and led me into radiology.
Talk about the interventional part. What is it? What should people know about it?
So an interventional radiologist is first a radiologist, so we have to go through the radiology residency, which is a 4-year program, and then we do a 1-year fellowship in interventional radiology. And the simplest way to put it is basically an interventional radiologist is a radiologist who does procedures using image guidance. So all types of procedures, a lot of biopsies using ultrasound guidance or CAT scan guidance. We'll do drainages using CAT scan guidance of abscesses in the abdomen or pelvis. But everything that we do is essentially image guided.
I would imagine the quality, the technology behind it has changed a lot over the years. Talk about from when you started to now, what has changed in your field?
So the image quality has been, pretty consistent. I've been out for almost 10 years now. So the major changes in image quality have really come in the field of ultrasound. So ultrasound has gotten much, much better, which gives us more detailed information, more detailed anatomy, and in real time helps us a lot. The CAT scan imaging has really been, very, very similar, so haven't been a whole lot of advances there. In terms of imaging, ultrasound is kind of the major field that's really improved a lot. My typical day is pretty varied. I do have scheduled cases, scheduled procedures. Most of those, if they're outpatient, are biopsies, bone marrow biopsies, thyroid biopsies, paracentesis where we drain fluid from the abdomen. Those types of procedures are all scheduled. But there's a lot of consultation that happens between the oncology department, between pulmonology department, looking at patients who've had CAT scans or MRIs or ultrasounds and asking, is this area of abnormality something that we can biopsy here? Is it appropriate? Is it safe to do that? So there's an awful lot of that that happens during my day. In between that, I do read cases. I interpret CAT scans, MRIs, X-rays, ultrasounds, that type of a thing. And then in terms of the things that I bring to Meadville Medical Center, over the last 10, 15 years, there's really been a significant uptick in the diagnostic radiology volume, which has made it very difficult for the radiologists who've been here to kind of keep up with procedures. And so I've been able to sort of help take some of that burden off of their shoulders. And in addition to that, we've also brought some new procedures to Meadville Medical Center that we weren't doing previously. Specifically vascular access, venous access, so we're doing port placement, do quite a bit of port placements for the oncology folks, hemodialysis catheter placements, we do bone marrow biopsies, which we haven't been doing, so we're able to do that in the hospital with conscious sedation and under image guidance, which is really a good situation for the patient. That's the way I would want to have a bone marrow biopsy if I needed to have that. So those are some of the main things that I've been able to do since we started, the hospital has been really great in providing the resources for us. We have 2 new cath lab rooms, which are rooms that I work in, and the second one was just completed last week, actually. So so they're definitely putting resources in, and the main goal really is to keep patients here in Meadville and to reduce the rate of transfer to Erie or Pittsburgh.
And I was just going to ask you about that. It seems like what you're able to provide is
a savings of time where you're not sending something out, waiting for it, but you can handle it right here. And again, that plays into what you were talking about with that patient care. And that's just one more thing. Was that something that was attractive to you coming here, knowing that you could bring those services?
Yeah, definitely. I have a good friend who reads diagnostic radiology procedures or exams for Meadville Medical Center, and so I knew that there were some procedures that were being done here, but I knew that there were some pretty significant gaps, and so through my friendship, I was able to connect with Dr. Kraling, and he identified some of the need that was there, and so we had a conversation, and here I am.
Talk about what you see, your field getting into in the next 10 years. You've already talked about the past 10, but what's the future like?
Well, there's an awful lot just in terms of interventional radiology as far as interventional oncology procedures go. So right now there's quite a bit of treatment for liver tumors non-invasively or minimally invasively. So we basically use a catheter, go into the artery, get into the artery that supplies the tumor within the liver, and then deliver small particles or beads that are impregnated with chemotherapy. So we're giving sort of a local chemotherapy dose to liver tumors. So that's one major area that has been in place, but that's sort of evolving. Cryoablation is another procedure that has been around for quite a while, but I think the applications have been increasing, and that's where essentially you use either ultrasound or CAT scan guidance, and you put a small needle into a tumor. Oftentimes it's within the kidney, and we can put a small needle into the tumor and freeze the tumor and effectively kill the cells. And if it's under a certain size, typically about 3 centimeters, there's over a 94% effective rate of destroying the tumor without recurrence. So those are a few of the procedures that have been around for a while, but I think the applications continue to broaden.
Are patients surprised at the level of care that's offered here in rural Pennsylvania?
I think so, yeah. I think there are patients, certainly when we do bone marrow biopsies, I think that that's something that had been done in the office, but some patients have been transferred out for that, and so I think they're surprised at the level of care and how easy the procedures really are, and how we're able to do them here. So yeah, I would say so. I've been here for a little over a year now, and so I think we've actually made some good inroads with physicians in terms of them referring patients to us, particularly on the inpatient side. But some of the things that I would highlight, certainly one of the things that we want to do more of would be treatment of gastrointestinal hemorrhage or bleeding. Patient comes into the emergency room, and they're having an issue with that, and we're actually able to treat that in a similar way that I mentioned with the interventional oncology, being able to treat tumors in the liver. We're able to actually stop bleeding it from the inside of the artery. So that's one of the things that we've tried to really push, because that's been a procedure that traditionally has just been transferred to Erie or to Pittsburgh. So that's definitely an area that we can help out with. In terms of inpatient procedures, there are a number of things, dialysis catheters that we place on patients who have renal failure, and I think we've done a very good job with that. Abscess drainages, cholecystitis, we can have less invasive treatment than cholecystectomy, where the surgeon goes in and removes it. So from an inpatient standpoint, those are some of the procedures that are kind of the big ones that we're trying to push and say, hey, we're able to actually treat that here, and we don't need to send the patient out.
We opened up by mentioning that you're Doctor of the Year. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What an honor. What does that say to you?
To be honest, it was totally unexpected. I certainly didn't expect to receive that award in my first year here. And really, what I said to Dr. Kraling when he presented it to me was that it's a privilege for me to work here. It's a great hospital. It feels like a family. So I think it's less about me and more about the hospital and the staff. They're really wonderful.
Well, speaking of family, what do you do at the end of the day to relax?
It's a little challenging. I've got 3 boys at home, 6, 8, and 10, so they're very active, very involved in sports. So, most of the time when I go home, that's That's my second job as dad.
Do they similar sports, different sports?
Two of three of them play hockey. 2 or 3 of them play baseball. So yeah, that's kind of where we are at this point.
You follow professional sports at all?
Yeah. But Pittsburgh, all the sports teams in Pittsburgh I'm a fan of.
Yeah. Interesting draft.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, unexpected. But
favorite book?
Well, I'm a Christian, so my favorite book is the Bible.
Excellent. Music?
Boy, I'm all over the place. In terms of modern music, I like country. I grew up on a small farm, and that's the kind of music I like.
How about movie?
Oh, movie, boy. I haven't thought about that for a long time. For a long time, it was Gladiator. Okay. I think that's definitely top 3. Yeah.
Doc, we greatly appreciate your time. Fascinating learning about what you bring to Meadville Medical Center. So we thank you for coming in and joining us, and we hope you got something out of this as well. Again, you can visit Dr. Karlberg on the Meadville Medical Center website to learn more. Thank you for joining us.
Whether the weather is good or whether the weather is bad, count on Armstrong's support and service all throughout the year.
And thank you for being with us here today. Joining us is Dr. Katie Warren, neurologist here at Meadville Medical Center. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm from Fredonia, New York, near Buffalo. I went to Allegheny College here in Meadville, so I had some connection to the area. I majored in neuroscience and then did my master's in neuroscience. Went away then to medical school in Lecom and Erie. Finished up in neurology, obviously. I did my residency in Albany, New York, my fellowship in Buffalo, New York, and I came back to work here in 2015, so I've been here for 10 years.
Wow. When did you know that this was the direction you wanted to go, getting into neurology or just being a doctor in general?
So in 10th grade in high school, I was asked to write a paper about something. I guess we could really pick any topic. And I happened to write a paper about dreams. It was not so much about the theory of dreams, but the science behind dreams. Why do we dream? What does the brain function during dreams? And that was my first exposure to anything at all related to neurology. And I can't really explain why, but it's just stuck with me ever since. And I've literally been following along that path ever since 10th grade in high school. So I only applied to colleges that had neuroscience as a major. I went for my master's in neuroscience, of course did neurology residency and fellowship. So it's never wavered. I've just known since high school.
So when you were going to Allegheny, you obviously knew of Meadville Medical Center. Mm-hmm. Was that a hospital you kind of said, boy, I could see myself working there someday?
In undergrad, I would say no, and not because of anything wrong with Meadville Medical Center. It was just as a college student, most of the time you stay away from the hospital. There's not a lot of need to use the hospital. And it wasn't really on my radar yet where I would end up. I think I just wasn't there yet. Priorities are different at that time. So no, that wasn't really on my radar, but I would say definitely when I went to Lecom, that's when I started thinking that I would end up back here. I did several rotations here at Meadville Medical Center when I was a student. So I've kind of came full circle and came on back.
What kind of stood out to you where you just thought, yeah, this is where I'd like to be?
So I definitely, on a personal level, wanted to be in a smaller town for my family. My husband and I have 2 kids. They're 10 and 13. And of course, when I came here to live, they were 0 and 3. So we wanted to raise our family in a smaller town. We actually live in Edinburgh, so I drive into work. I also definitely wanted to work in a smaller hospital. I've never been drawn to the bigger hospital systems. It's kind of too busy, too many people, too many cooks in the kitchen. So that really just wasn't a good fit for me. And then specific to Meadville, I would say when I did my rotations here, I knew it was a good fit because there are so many specialists for this size hospital. And I really had a good exposure to different ways of doing things and different types of specialties. Of course, I knew the neurologists that were here at the time. They're no longer here, but I had anticipated, joining that practice, and I could really see myself working well with them.
Did it surprise you at all? It's just working here where somebody would say, boy, I think we might need this, and then shortly after that role's fulfilled. It just seems like Meadville Medical Center does a really good job at listening to patients, seeing what the needs are in the community, and addressing it.
So specific to neurology, I would say that there is a very big need for neurology in any hospital system. However, there aren't a lot of us, so it is hard to get enough in one area. Fortunately, we actually have 3 neurologists now, which is quite a bit for our size hospital. When I started, there were 2 other neurologists at the time, but again, they had kind of gone separate ways by the time I got here when I started. So I do think they're certainly listening to what the community needs and trying to provide those resources in the community, but it is hard sometimes to get certain specialists in the area. There's either not a lot of them, or there isn't maybe a connection to this area. It's certainly hard to convince someone to live in Meadville, Pennsylvania, maybe if they have no connection to being here. But certainly, yeah, they're constantly trying to fill those gaps and help the patients in the community.
So let's talk about your department. The patients that you're seeing vary from what to what?
So we see all neurology patients here in Meadville. My partner, 2 other partners and I, we do see any type of neurologic concern. The most common example of things we see would be migraines, but epilepsy, multiple sclerosis, Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, stroke, tremors, ALS, and I'm sure some others that are not coming to mind.
but there's a lot. I mean, you're really addressing a lot for our region.
Absolutely.
Okay. So what's that care like? Is it contacting your office, or are you, is a patient being referred to your office? How does that work?
So our office requires a referral. It's not for insurance purposes. It's because neurology is very heavy on history. And so it's very important that we have records for a patient's history prior to them coming to us. So normally I would say a primary care doctor might identify, let's say, a memory concern for a patient, and they would refer them to us. If a patient has seen another neurologist for either the same reason or a different reason in the past, we also require that those records be sent with the patient because, again, it's very important for us to understand their background before we see a patient. It's difficult to kind of start from scratch in neurology because everything is based on what all has happened before that.
What are some, this is sort of a loaded question, but what are some symptoms that you may start experiencing where you should say, you know what, maybe it's time to see my doctor and begin that process? Because it seems, again, you cover a lot with what you do, but are there some things that people should be kind of on the lookout for?
Specific to cognitive changes or other things, do you mean?
We'll start with there.
Okay, so for memory loss or cognitive changes, usually we get concerned when the memory loss is affecting someone's ability to take care of themselves or their environment. So whether that's caring for their household work, chores around the house, or if it's taking care of their medications, if it is communicating with family members, possibly driving, if that's becoming an issue. So having a little bit of memory loss is expected for everyone to some degree, and certainly as we get older, but when it starts to affect someone's ability to care for themselves or their environment, that's when we start to get more concerned, and that's when usually we would receive a referral for a patient.
So that's the cognitive side. Are you working with other departments within the hospital with other types of patients?
So for stroke patients, that's a big part of what we see in the hospital side. So when someone has stroke symptoms, they are, initially evaluated in the emergency department, usually admitted to the hospital for a couple of days. Me and my partners are involved in seeing the patients in the hospital as well, and then we also follow up with them in the office after they've been discharged from the hospital. So in that sense, certainly there's more of a multidisciplinary team where we're working with obviously the team in the hospital, physical therapists, occupational therapists, things like that.
What are some things that people should be looking at in terms of their health and just making sure it doesn't, something doesn't pop up 10 years from now or next month? amount of sleep that somebody gets, things like that. What are some things that you should be keeping an eye on?
So the big three, especially for stroke prevention, are diabetes, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol. They are known over the years, if not controlled, to cause strokes and heart attacks, another problem as well. So if someone can keep those under good control preceding, like you said, in the 10 or 20 years leading up to that, hopefully we can prevent that from happening in the first place. So those would be the big three. As you mentioned, sleep is certainly important. And also not only the number of hours of sleep, but making sure it's good quality sleep. So one of the things that we're seeing a lot more of is obstructive sleep apnea. And one of the doctors in our office is a sleep specialist. So she is an expert in treating sleep apnea and other sleep disorders. So we do have somebody in-house helping with that as well, and making sure, again, not only the number of hours you're sleeping, but that it's good quality sleep as well.
At the end of the day, what do you do to unwind and relax?
Well, there's not a lot of unwinding with two busy preteens. So we're just busy at home with the kids, and we have a new dog. so she keeps us busy as well.
That's excellent.
So yeah, in the summertime we like boating and being out on the lake. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite book?
Ooh, good question. I do read quite a bit. My favorite, I'll go this, my favorite author is Jodi Picoult, and so pretty much anything she's written is my go-to for reading.
Go-to music?
Ooh, music. Counting Crows. That ages me. That was my favorite band in high school, and I am going to see them this summer.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah.
How about favorite movie?
The Notebook.
Okay.
Alzheimer's, love story,
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, we greatly appreciate your time. It was
Thank
a real
you.
pleasure.
Nice to meet you.
And thank you for joining us as well.